Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about the Celtics winning Game 5 in dominant fashion as they are somehow, some way, still alive in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Heat. The Celtics had 4 guys score 20 plus points. More importantly, the Celtics played great defense again as they held the Heat to 97 points. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Did Game 5 prove the Celtics have a real shot of overcoming a 3-0 deficit? And what I'm going to say is, no, it does not prove that the Boston Celtics will be able to overcome a 3-0 deficit. Do I think it's possible now? Maybe. I think it could still happen. I'm still going to give it like a 1%, a 2% chance of it happening. I said yesterday that the Boston Celtics had a 0% chance of overcoming a 3-0 deficit. But after what I saw last night in Game 5, I have to admit the Boston Celtics might possibly have a shot of winning this series, although it would still take many factors to fall in place for the Boston Celtics. Look, there's a reason why no team in NBA history has ever blown a 3-0 lead, and the reason for that is it's just too hard to not win one more game in 4 tries. And when you look at this Miami Heat team, yeah, they might not be the most talented team out there, but they got an elite head coach and they got guys that can step up and come up big for them in the postseason. Look, Eric Spoelstra is supposed to be one of the best coaches in all of basketball, and although he hasn't been coaching pretty good for the Miami Heat in games 4 and 5, I believe that Eric Spoelstra will be able to make the necessary adjustments that need to be there for the Heat to win Game 6. And Joe Mazzulla, man, I gotta give him a lot of props. I've been critical of him all postseason long, but he's done a good job rallying the troops from Boston in games 4 and 5, so I gotta give him tremendous credit for that. And how about the Celtics role players stepping up? I criticized the Celtics role players for not showing up in games 1 through 3, particularly during crunch time, but so far in games 4 and game 5, the Boston Celtics have had role players that stepped up. Al Horford, even though he didn't have a great game offensively, played pretty well on the defensive end of the floor. Jayson Tatum, he's starting to commit to the defensive end of the floor more often. He's supposed to be a great defender, and he hasn't necessarily lived up to that billing in recent memory, but he did do that in the last 2 games, so I gotta give Jayson Tatum tremendous props in there. He's also passing the ball a lot better now. He got 11 assists in game 5. That helped out tremendously. And then of course there was Marcus Smart. He knocked down 4 threes in this game. He scored 23 points. Then Derrick White, he did a pretty good job as well. He got really hot from the field. He shot 6 of 8 from the 3-point line. He had 24 points, and Jaylen Brown helped out Jayson Tatum by scoring 21 points as well. Jayson Tatum also scored 21 points as well. The Celtics had a well-balanced attack. They were making a lot of mid-range shots. They were making a lot of 3-point shots. And the Boston Celtics, man, they shot the 3 ball pretty effectively. They shot 41% from the 3-point line, so they did a really good job taking advantage of the 3-point shots that they had. And as for the Miami Heat, man, I've been disappointed with how they've played the last 2 games. For them to not be able to close out either Game 4 or Game 5, that's got to be a little concerning for the Miami Heat. Now, could the Miami Heat still win this series? Absolutely. They probably should still be able to win this series. But what about when they get to the NBA Finals against the Denver Nuggets, where the Denver Nuggets just swept the Los Angeles Lakers with ease? How are the Miami Heat going to deal with that? I mean, sometimes you gotta trust process over results. Yeah, the Miami Heat, they might still win this series, and they'll probably win this series in 6 like I predicted, but I feel worse about the Heat than I did when I looked at this Miami Heat team before the Eastern Conference Finals start. I thought this was a team that could possibly make it competitive in the NBA Finals, but seeing them struggle to close out a series the way that they have been struggling to close out the series against the Boston Celtics, that has to yell out some alarm bells out there that they might be no match for the Denver Nuggets, considering the fact that the Denver Nuggets are the best team in the Western Conference, and they might arguably be the best team in the NBA. The Denver Nuggets have been supremely underrated all season long. Yeah, they might not get the media attention like they should, but the Denver Nuggets are a really good basketball team. But let me address about this Miami Heat team, man. There was no Gabe Vincent for Game 5. We don't know about his status for Game 6. We'll see if Gabe Vincent's ankle is good to go. If it's not good to go, though, that might yell out some concerns for the Miami Heat, although I would not be too worried about that because Kyle Lowry is supposed to be a solid starter who has championship pedigree on him. And although he didn't play like it in Game 5, I would have to expect Kyle Lowry to somewhat step up in Game 6 and be better than what he was in Game 5. And how about Jimmy Butler, man? Man, we gave him the nickname Playoff Jimmy Butler because he's supposed to be a baller in the playoffs. He's supposed to be playing like the son of Michael Jordan, but Jimmy Butler has not played like that in recent memory. He didn't play like that in Game 4, and he definitely did not play like that in Game 5. How does Bam Adebayo shoot more shots than Jimmy Butler? Bam Adebayo shot 15 shots, and Jimmy Butler only shot 10. That is unacceptable. And also, I want to talk about Caleb Martin as well. How does Caleb Martin score the same amount of points as Jimmy Butler in a closeout game? That cannot happen if you're the Miami Heat. If you're the Miami Heat, they've got to find a way to get Jimmy Butler in rhythm, get back to what made them so successful in the NBA playoffs, being able to shoot that three ball effectively, being able to put Jimmy Butler in ISO situations, because they have not done a good job of doing that the last 2 games. And if that's the case, the Miami Heat, they're going to have some problems to deal with, and they're going to have to win Game 6. Now, do I believe that they will win Game 6? Absolutely. I believe the Miami Heat can still get this job done because they're at home. They've been great at home. They've only lost 1 game at home in the NBA playoffs, and Eric Spoelstra is supposed to be an elite basketball coach, so he'll get the team together, he'll get them to refocus, and he'll make the necessary adjustments that need to be made in order for the Miami Heat to overcome the struggles in Games 4 and 5. But if you're the Boston Celtics, though, keep doing what you're doing. But also remember this as well. The Boston Celtics have trouble closing out tight games. The Boston Celtics are a great front-running team. They've been able to front-run the last 2 games, but they won't be able to permanently front-run. At some point, they're going to have to play in a game where it's going to be tight and where it's going to be relied on good coaching to win the series. Can Joe Mazzulla step up and provide the good coaching that is necessary in tight games to win those kind of games? I don't think so. If the Miami Heat can find a way to keep it close in Game 6, I expect the Miami Heat to win. The only way I think the Boston Celtics can beat the Miami Heat in Game 6 is if the Celtics start off really strong and they keep front running. And also, they got to hope that Al Horford can knock down some threes as well and continue playing tremendous defense. They got to hope that Jayson Tatum can continue playing great on both ends of the floor. They got to hope that Marcus Smart can continue to knock down three-point shots. They got to hope that Derrick White can also get hot from the three-point line as well. Look, it helps when Marcus Smart and Derrick White combine to make 10 threes. When that happens, the Boston Celtics are going to be winning games more often than not. That's just the reality of the situation. Now, let's just talk in case the Miami Heat lose Game 6. Now, if the Miami Heat lose Game 6, then I think it's time for the Miami Heat to panic. But as of right now, do I think the Miami Heat need to panic? No, I don't think they need to panic. I think they just need to refocus and calm down a little bit and get back to doing what they were doing at a really high level before the last 2 games. The Boston Celtics have yet to win 3 straight games in the NBA playoffs this season. So for them to win Game 6 on the road, which means that they would have won 3 in a row, that's going to be a tough task for them to do. That's going to be a large task for them to step up and go ahead and attempt to do. Look, this Boston Celtics team is not the same Celtics team from last year. They are not as well coached as they were under Ime Udoka. Joe Mazzulla, yeah, he's a fine coach, but he's not a great coach right now. Eric Spoelstra is supposed to be a better coach than Joe Mazzulla. If that's the case, then the Miami Heat should be able to close out Game 6 with the win. So to answer the question of whether or not the Boston Celtics proved that they could come back in this series with a dominant Game 5 victory, no, I don't see that happening, because they were on the home floor and they were supposed to protect home court, and it's about time they won a home game anyways. The Boston Celtics have been struggling at home, so for them to finally win at home, they did what they were supposed to do. Why are we praising a team for doing what they were supposed to do? Now, I'll give the Celtics credit for this. At least they're putting up a good fight, but I'm just keeping it real with y'all. The Boston Celtics were supposed to win Game 5 in Boston, but now the Miami Heat have home court in Game 6. Now they got to go ahead and protect their home court. If they do that, the Heat win the series in 6 games, like I predicted before the series started. So that is why Game 5 proved that the Celtics do indeed have a somewhat real shot of overcoming a 3-0 deficit, although there are still a lot of factors that need to go in the Celtics' favor. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @SportsGuyTalking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.